Hi everyone, welcome back to Studioloo. So I recently made some changes to my Patreon tiers to offer some really fun clubs that I wanted to share with you. So I thought we could just go through the tiers really quickly. So if you're not familiar with Patreon, it is a website where creators like myself can offer extra content, digital or physically tangible things like merchandise, extra video content, etc. So the entry level to this is the first tier, which is the page turners. So in this tier, you're going to get a little bit extra of the content that you're used to from me on YouTube. You will get a monthly journal together kit. You've probably seen, if you followed me, some of the different kits that I use to create journals. I give those out the first of the month, every month. It's about 15 pages of scanned vintage, handmade, or digitally designed and illustrated things or curated digital images that I put together. And you can use that in your work that you sell. It is licensed for personal use, and it's a lot of fun. It's a project I really enjoy. And also you're going to get exclusive video content via YouTube, tutorials, things like that. You will get access to my Patreon blog. You will get notification on shop updates before I post them to Etsy and my other social media. You will have access to dibs. If there's a journal that I'm going to be selling and I post it here and you say, hey, I want that, you can send me a message. And if I get that message, I will definitely honor it. I do tend to be online most of the time through my phone. So that is the entry level for page turners. We then move on to the second tier, bookworms. So you get all of that I just said, but you also get the digital kits that I release to my Etsy shop. So if you're familiar with my Etsy shop, you'll see that I do digital design work. I do paper dolls, different themed digital kits. So as I post those to Etsy, I also upload them to Patreon, and you can download those for 30 days. I leave them up and then I archive them to certain tiers where they will remain, but you have 30 days to download. So you also get that. So that's a really fun tier to be in. The next tier is tier 3. Pen pals. So you get all of what I just described, and this is kind of an additional tier. I highlight this tier because it's kind of the one that I think is accessible to most people, and also it's one that is for those digital creators that just want to be able to support me a little bit more. You like my YouTube channel, you like what I'm doing, and you're interested in getting my digital work. You get all of what tiers 1 and 2 get, but you're also going to be getting a mailed quarterly ephemera mail from me. So you will get ephemera in the mail 4 times per year. I do have a schedule, and I definitely have been keeping up on it. You will also be entered in an annual giveaway draw for a big happy mail that happens in June each year to celebrate my Patreon anniversary. So then we move on to the tiers where I'm offering subscription boxes. These are like clubs that you can join to get tangible mail from me. So I'm calling the paper related one the Moonbee Monthly Journal Club, essentially. So there's 4 tiers, I think, to this, but the first tier is tier 4, and that is the ephemera club. So you get all those benefits of tier 1 that we talked about, like the blog, the access to everything except for the extended digitals. You'll get the journal together kit, but not the digitals. So each month I will do a theme for the following month. So let's say on August the 1st, I release that journal together kit for you. I will also be announcing for the Moonbee monthly members what the theme's going to be for September. So let's say I chose magic. So you can decide right there, do I want to sign up for this to get an ephemera pack? So an ephemera pack will be probably roughly a dozen pieces of handmade or vintage ephemera that will be sent to you in the theme of, in this case, magic or something else that I choose. I do plan to keep the themes quite general, things like botanical or, things that don't make people feel locked into a theme. So that is the ephemera tier. I then have the exact same thing again, the ephemera tier, plus all those digital kits. So Tier 5, the Moonbee Ephemera Club Plus, is everything that we just talked about. You get that monthly mailing of ephemera based on the theme from me, but you also get access to the digital kits that I put in my Etsy shop. You have a 30-day download of those as they come out, and I do update Patreon and send email notifications to you when a new kit's been updated. So you're going to get all of that, as well as the Tier 1 benefits, the access to my extra digital content and my whole Patreon, essentially. So then I'll ask you for just 1 minute to step outside of this journal club. We're going to come back to it, to come with me for the yarn tier of my Patreon, which is Tier 10, the Stitch Along Club. So Tier 10 is for knitters, crocheters, weavers, other needleworkers who want to use hand-spun yarn or beautiful hand-dyed yarns that I dye. You will get a package mailed to you monthly that will have one hand-spun yarn and one handmade notion. Handmade notions are things like ceramic or wood buttons, interesting handmade beads, a hand-sewn project bag, things like that. And I will definitely curate and put together a kit that you will love, and the kind of kit that I would like to receive myself. I will stop talking for just a moment and show you what an example of that looks like. Here's an example of Tier 10, the Stitch Along Club. So this is the yarn tier of my Patreon, and this is an example of what you may receive if you sign up for that tier. So this is for knitters, crocheters, weavers, or journalers who want to use yarn in their work. I use tons of yarn in my work. So this is a hand-spun yarn that I just completed. My specialty in the spinning world is hand-spun art yarn. I've been doing hand-spun art yarn. I've taught workshops in making it since 2000. This particular yarn is a beautiful blend that I've hand carded myself of different wools and some Angelina sparkle. Typically the yarns that I will be providing to you will be hand spun and always natural fibers. That may be animal-based fibers like wool, alpaca, silk, or it may be some plant fibers such as cotton, rami, etc. Often they will be blended. They will always be hand dyed, and sometimes there may be some smaller amounts of synthetic things that are essentially like improving kind of characters to wool. Like nylon may be added sometimes to add strength. So primarily I think it will be hand spun yarn, but I'm also going to provide hand dyed yarns on smaller weight, like a fingering weight for sock knitting or shawl knitting. I will always provide enough for a project, and I will do this in a way that it's a package that I would like to receive. So that's an example of this yarn. It's beautiful. It has these lovely green flowers. Every participant will receive a different yarn and a different notion. They will be unique, and they will be unique each month. I will not repeat the same kind of themes. Then the notion for this particular package is this set of 4 of my own handmade ceramic buttons. 2 are in this brown kind of steampunky feel. They have little tiny cogs, but they're not overly steampunk, so they could go if you were doing a garden themed, hat or shawl or cowl, you could use that. And then 2 are green, and they are like a greeny blue, and they have some leaves and dots and things on them, and they're on this button card that I made myself from some vintage books, and I will pop my card on the back there for you. The types of notions that I'm thinking of providing are many different kinds of buttons. I make a lot of different kinds of buttons, from ceramic, wood, banksia, stone, certain found objects, etc. Sometimes they could be vintage. Primarily it will be handmade though, I think. I may also do something like a hand-sewn project bag, handmade beads, stuff like that, notions. So thank you for hanging out with me for this little preview. Feel free to ask me any questions and I'll be happy to answer them. So now we get back into the Moonbee Monthly Journal Club, and this is Tier 6, which is the journal level tier. So we talked already about the ephemera level tier. I will be using the same theme for the whole club. So the journal will be the same theme as the ephemera that I talked about a bit ago. This will be a single signature journal that will not have ephemera in it, but it will be filled with beautiful hand-dyed papers, vintage papers, curated papers that go along with the theme of the club. So this will be for the journal. And this is tier number 6. You get all of the benefits of the first tier, like my extra content. This is not for the digitals, but you do get the monthly journal together digital that's part of my all Patreon. And so this one, it works the same as I mentioned with the ephemera. It is going to be a month in advance, so I will let you know what the upcoming theme is going to be. So then we'll move into the next tier. Tier 7, same exact thing, Moonbee Journal Club. You get a journal, but this is the plus tier. So you also get access in this tier to everything I just mentioned, but you also get my downloads of my digital kits as they are released, and you have 30 days with which to download them. So I will take a minute now and stop talking and show you an example of what both the ephemera from the club as well as a journal from the club would look like. So let's just stop for one moment. So this is the ephemera pack, an example of what you would get if you were part of tier 4, 5, 8, or 11. This is the Moonbee Monthly Journal Club ephemera tier. So I decided to start the first month of this in July, and we're going to go with a blue and gold theme. Blue and gold, that's what the theme is, keeping it a little generic for now. So this is what you would receive as an ephemera pack at the ephemera tier. So if I open this up, this is a rusted safety pin, and there are 5 eyelided little bits of ephemera on here. So these are all of my own design, and they're all botanical. So you get this little bit, you can do whatever you would like in the journal with it, and it's all tied up here with this little ribbon that I'll just slip off. So then you have a couple of little art paper dolls that I designed for this, and I think they're so sweet. This is a journal card with some fun backing, again in blue and gold. This is a vintage image from an old magazine. Then this is a journal card as well, and it is an image of an old cabinet card, and I've stitched it and added some fabrics, and it says, a biography of the daffodil. The daffodils are by the curious, whether legitimate or spurious, accounted beauties of their time, deserving notice in our rhyme. So this was from a very old book. And then this is, this could be a pocket or a journal card. And it says, he that has 2 cakes of bread, let him sell one of them for some flowers of the narcissus. For bread is food for the body, but the narcissus is food for the soul. Muhammad. And so it's all been gilded around. There's some botanicals there. I've stitched some threads and fabric. And on back, it's also got some gilding and some visible stitching. Then this little cabinet style journal card, it says 29th June 1801. And then this little bit of poetry, Song of the Night Wind. It's a beautiful Wilma Doherty poem. I sing a song of whispering pines and dusky forest nooks, of shadowy pools and mystery trails and wandering gypsy brooks, of sylvan dells where moonbeams dance upon a windy hill, of starlit nights and plaintive songs of lonely whippoorwill. Each night I rock the baby birds and sing them lullabies and coax the little flower buds to close their sleepy eyes. And when their heads begin to nod and they are off to sleep, I set a firefly lamp aglow, a silent watch to keep. And so on. I won't read the rest, but that is how it starts. Then this is an inventory tag that I have collaged on with some of my own botanical design. This is some authentic ephemera, vintage from 1937. This is out of an autograph book, and it's also this nice color of blue, the natural patina on it is lovely. And it says, hair is made to crimp and curl. Checks are made to blush. Oh, cheeks are made to blush, I'm sorry. Eyes are made to wink at boys. Lips are made to, oh hush, Mary Louise turrets, East 32nd Street, Baltimore, Maryland. So I love that. I thought it was so cute. It's authentic. This is my own botanical design, and I've added some gilding here. These are like little cards. You could keep it together as a journal tag, or you could even cut them apart if you like. This is one of my paper doll designs, and I've added a stamp here and stitched some fabric and crochet tea-dyed lace up top. This is a journal card that says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And then this is another paper doll image of mine with some fun painting on the back, just a big journal card. So that is an example of what you would receive if you were subscribed to the Moonbeam Monthly Ephemera Club. And the theme again is gold and blue and gold. And so this is what that pack will look like. Now it won't be the same. Everybody will get different ephemera on the most part. Some things that I design myself I can print more than once, and so there may be some overlap, but mostly it will be unique. But that is very typical of what the ephemera kit will look like. Now I'll move on to the journal level of this. So it is still the same theme of blue and gold, and this is still the Moonbeam Monthly Journal Club, but this is for the tiers that are getting the journal. So that's tier 6 and 7, as well as 8 and 11. So this journal is a single signature journal. It does not have ephemera in it. And that is what the club is. I'm creating a journal for you to do your thing with. It will have really beautiful papers, but it will not have ephemera. So this is a beautiful organza that I made a cover with, and I have also painted it gold. So we've got that nice blue and gold, and on the edges there is some fun gold lace. And on the front, I've added this doily, which I've also painted, and you can see underneath it left this beautiful imprint here. And then on the spine signature closure, like where we've sewn it in, I've attached this lovely gold sparrow. So you can use that, however you'd like, at the bottom or at the top. And so inside the journal, some gold here, I have added a lace pocket that goes across back and front, so you're able to put ephemera in there. So if we were to take this and just I'll show you how the ephemera would look if they went together. So if you're getting the full Moonbeam Monthly Journal Kit, you will get both of the ephemera and the journal. So this will give you a little bit of an idea how you could use that. So if you wanted to use this as a pocket, you could. You could put this tag in here if you wanted to, and this could go here. So this is actually a Brazilian doily pattern. I got these beautiful Brazilian patterns years ago in blue and green, and I just had to put one in this book. This is hand-dyed ledger paper that I've also painted. I've created a small digital kit for this theme of blue and gold, and this is like forest scenes that I've used. So you could take this guy and you could ink him up and make a nice little tuck spot with him there. And then, more of the beautiful dyed paper that's also been sprayed. So it's dyed in a bluey green, mostly blue. It's called mallard blue, but it has a tinge of green. And then it is also gold painted. This was a beautiful page that goes so well with the theme, and it says the elements of a musical in gold. It was from a large musical book that had navy and gold as the theme. More hand-dyed paper and another digital. Then we could come somewhere like this to this beautiful page that has gold stitching on it. You could add a belly band here. You could put a journal card like this one into that belly band as so. More writing space, my dyed paper. I've added some fun little, I was thinking about falling leaves in gold, so I've added some blips and blops here on this digital image that I designed. If you wanted to, you could definitely use something like this as a pocket here. You could add, you know, a journal card to that pocket. More hand-dyed ledger. This is just some gorgeous handmade paper that I bought locally. Another image from my digital kit. And you could take something like this and you could just paper clip it on and write on the back if you wanted. We get to the center and we have a gold doily. And then you see the other side of everything that you saw before. You could create, you know, a pocket if you wanted to on here. You could add this tag or a different tag. More of the paper and the digitals. I'll just go through the other side here so that you can see. Maybe you would want to clip that on here. Going. And then maybe you would want to use this here. These can all come apart and you can put them however you would like, or you could pin them on the journal somewhere. But yeah, that is the gist of what will be the first month of our Moonbee monthly Journal Together subscription. If you have any questions at all, feel free to message me. You can email me at cindy@studioloo.com. You can message me on Patreon if you are a Patreon, or if you aren't, I think you still can. Etsy, YouTube, wherever you can find me, Instagram, you can message me if you have any questions. I'll be so happy to answer them. So thank you for tuning into this little preview of the Journal Together kit. Now let's talk about Tier 9 tomes. So what this tier is for basically are people who are primarily interested in my digital content. It doesn't have any club related to it, but there are some extra benefits. So this is kind of my vault of all of my digitals. And I created this because I needed a place where I could keep all of my digitals that I've created. This is both for my Etsy shop as well as Patreon specials that I do. And so when someone joins my Patreon, I don't want to provide all of my digitals at that first or second tier, because it will go back for years and you will have access to a lot of digital kits, literally everything on my Etsy. So that is a big tier, but it is great for people who have just found me today and they're like, I love all of your digitals. I want to join that tier to download everything. You can change tiers later at any time if you want to, or you can just stay in that tier because you want to support me at that level. And also it takes away the worry of like, oh no, I have to download things within 30 days. It allows you, much like Etsy does, to just keep an archive of everything that I've ever done, without the worry to have to download. So the next tier is the full Moonbee monthly tier. That means you're going to get the journal and the ephemera that I talked about a little bit ago. I should pause for one moment to mention, for the tomes tier, that digital archive, you're also going to get quarterly ephemera mail from me. So 4 months out of the year, you are going to get a little bit of mail from me, and you will also be entered in the annual giveaway of the Big Happy Mail, because this is a higher level that you're supporting me at. So I do want to do those things as well. So now let's get back to tier 8, the full Moonbee monthly. So this again is the subscription club. This means you want both of the things that you saw. You want the journal and you want the ephemera, both in that same theme. This club really will set you up for making your own junk journal. You'll already have a good start on ephemera, and you'll have a fully bound single signature journal that I've handmade. So this tier is a lot of fun, and you will also be getting the benefits of tier 1, and you will also be getting the digitals. So as they're released, you will have that 30 days to download them, and yeah, it's a really fun tier. So you kind of get almost everything. But then I also do give you the option in my final tier of I want it all. So you get the benefits of all the tiers. So the entry level Patreon, blog, dibs on journals or whatever I post, could also be yarn, FYI, shop updates, digital content in addition to what I do on YouTube. I'm going to be doing a lot of blogs and other fun things. And you have the unlimited get access to the digital archive, the same as that tomes tier I talked about. So you won't have to worry about like downloading. You'll also be able to access everything I've ever historically made. And you're going to get in tangible merchandise mailed to you, several things. So you're going to get that quarterly mailing of the ephemera that I make in January, May, August, and October, same as that level 3, tier 3. And then you're going to be enrolled in both clubs, the journal, the Moonbee monthly journal and ephemera. You'll get both. And you will also get the stitch along club. So you will get that yarn and those notions. So it's everything. And I think, I did a bit of comparison on different Patreons and different subscription boxes for things, both in the journaling world and in the yarn world. And I think that this is actually quite, I would say it's quite a good price range for this. I think I'm actually, because of some things that I have in my life, like Chit Chat's my career that I'm able to use, I can save a little money that I can pass the savings on to you. So you're getting a subscription to 2 different handmade art clubs. It's pretty cool. So thank you so much for joining me for this little walkthrough of my Patreon. I hope it helps to kind of outline what I'm doing and that you'll consider checking it out. Have a great